All right, good morning to you out there. How you doing? Happy Friday. It's time for Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Brought to you by Team Tommy Mac. I'm just on Facebook today, but I'm in the 1010XL studios, part of the 1010XL podcast family, and of course the radio family. I'm doing a show before I hit the airwaves with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony at Pockets on Jaguars Today, all Jaguar talk, which we'll get into today. A lot to get into today. Going to be an interesting Friday morning. Hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoy delivering it to you each and every Tuesday and Friday. Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Of course, you can catch it all over platforms of podcasts and social media. Grammy's not here today. He's out on the road, so we will just do it from the phone and then get it on 1010s. We get it all out there. Do a great job getting it out there. Thanks to Team Tommy Mac. I brought two friends today. Chris Lucero's bail bonds. Now look how badass this hat is. I love a flat bill hat. I mean, I really do. And then I've got Azar Sausage, another kick-ass looking hat, you know. Here's the problem, and I'll just kind of show it to you. The last ring, I'm on the last rung on both hats. And let me just tell you, they still don't fit this big fat head. They just don't. I'm gonna get an extenders. You know how many hats I have? I love swag, and I love Azar Sausage, of course, and Chris Lucero's bail bonds. Two of Team Tommy Mac. They do a great job. Azar's and Winn-Dixie, get it. We eat it all the time. We do. It's phenomenal. And Dewey, the hot, they do have mild, they do have jalapeno. They have other flavors, but the Andouille and the hot are our favorite. And then, of course, look, Chris Lucero's bail bonds. They get you out of jail. Quick. Him and his team, they have such great relationships. St. Johns County, Clay, they can help you in Duval as well. So make sure you check them out. I love endorsing Team Tommy Mac. And there's room for more out there. So if you want to come and join us, send me a message on Messenger, if you will. Lots to get into today. Trevor signs his deal and speaks to the media. We'll talk about that briefly, a little bit. I am going to look at Trevor's, I went back and looked at his games last year, and I focused more on the rating. I'm not a big fan of all these stats. You can tell we know what needs to be worked out, so that's enough being said. And look, the contract is what it is, and he got it, and it's great. I'm happy for him. I just keep seeing this rhetoric, how, he carried the team when they were 8-3, and I'm like, man, he had some really good games, there's no doubt, before the ankle injury. I'll give you that. There's no doubt the ankle injury totally affected his play. The Kirk injury totally affected his play. From there, it went downhill because he didn't trust the line. He lost that faith once he got hurt, I think. And he got hit all year long. I mean, that's another thing we're talking about. And Denzel Mims, congratulations, gets a shot with the Jags, wide receiver. Are we not looking at all tackles at all? At all? You know what I mean? I don't know. Man. And then you see that thing that came out this week. They ranked all the starting offensive tackles. And our two starters, well, Walker's not a starter, but Walker and Cam are on the lowest rung of rated. And I don't believe that in Cam. I think Cam's better than that. Healthy Cam, I'll take. But, I don't know. We're not going to invest in any OTs. I looked at who's out there. There's a couple. There's one guy I think we should at least bring in and take a look at, but I'll tell you that in just a little bit. Trev says no added pressure after signing new deal. I say bullshit on that. Wait, crazy? I mean, yeah, there's already pressure. You're the number one pick in the NFL draft. You are the starting quarterback of one of the 32 teams. Yeah, there's pressure. I know you got pressure. And this isn't a knock on Trevor, but he is, look, he's calm, cool, and collected, and that's cool. And I like him as a front man. I've always said that. He's a very good representative, if not excellent, representative of the city of Jacksonville and the organization. No question about that. But there's got to be added pressure, in my opinion. And it'll come from outside, including, I'm not going to call it pressure, but there are expectations, right? I mean, you get paid elite. You got to play elite all the time. Not when the big teams come in, you can't crap. And the other guys did too. Don't get me wrong. But you got to be elite all the time, especially when you're playing, the better teams in the league or in your conference or in your division. You got to step up and really carry the team. I know he knows that. But we'll go through that. We got to talk about. We'll take a look around the NFL. Not much going on. A little Patriot news. A little Kansas City news, which I think is big. We're going to start off with that in just a minute. And then the NFL owners. Interesting that they're being accused of colluding on fully guaranteed contracts for certain quarterbacks. So, it's interesting. I saw, you see all the, with Trevor's deal, like highest paid per year and then per cash pay, all this stuff. I mean, get all these stats, I swear. And yesterday on the Horse's Mouth, they're talking AI. Like, there's going to be more stats, just more craziness. But whatever. You gotta find balance, right? Stats do matter, and watching it with your own two eyes matters as well. But I saw where Deshaun Watson's guaranteed money. His is fully guaranteed, I think 235, 240, whatever it was. And then the next fully guaranteed was Burrow, and then Trevor's right there. I think Trevor just beat him, was just under him, but they're like neck and neck. So there's a big gap, though. Trevor's at 146. He was at 240. That's almost 100 mil. That wasn't a good deal. Everyone knew it. I don't know why they had to do that. I mean, good for him that he got it. I credit any player that gets the money. The owners got a shit ton of money, man. They got so much freaking money. You know what the owners should do? And I know I'm a grumpy old vet, but how about lifetime health insurance for NFL vested veterans and their families? How about that? Or how about a plan that we can buy into, that's affordable? It's just so annoying, that part of it. That's not what this show is about, but just interesting, because I do think, and I was talking about this with Coach Campo on the Horse's Mouth yesterday, I do think there is pressure for a franchise, for an owner, to extend their quarterback that they drafted, right? Especially one that's number one in the draft. I do think there's pressure from the other owners. Because think about this, like now they're talking about maybe a salary cap for just QBs. Think about that. But if, say Trevor didn't sign this year and waited, and he had a great year, and then he's asking for not 55 a year, 65 a year. Well, guess what that does? The next guy, I mean, when does it stop? $100 million a year? Hey, if you can get it, you get it. I'm not saying that, but is that what you, as owners, as 32 owners, is this what we want? Do we want these quarterbacks, making, $500 million over 5 years? I mean, that's $500 million. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for it. The league's going up in money, they're going up in revenue, all that stuff. But when does it end? I mean, they had it under control with the rookie deals, right? They did. Remember Sam Bradford, prior to the rookie deal cap or whatever it was, Sam Bradford was the last kid out of college to get a $50 million signing bonus right out of school. Finally, the owner, because it kept going up and up and up. Finally, the owners are like, hey, I mean, what are we going to pay these kids, $100 million? We don't even know if they can make it in the league. We have no idea until they get out there. They took care of that, and now this, right? And it's only going further. So I wouldn't be surprised if owners, pick up the phone and say, hey, Shad, you got to get this kid done. Because if you don't, it might blow up in your face. If he has a good year, you expect him to have a good year. I'm expecting him to have a good year. Everyone's expecting him to have a good year. Well, that price tag's only going to go up, which means all these other QBs that are better than him, that are going to want or up for contracts and that are as good or better than him, I'm not going to say they're all better, that, they're going to want more. They're going to want even more. Dak Prescott wants 60. I don't blame him. Any of these QBs. If I'm Tua, I'm saying, hey, look, you want to go stats? Look at mine last year compared to his. Okay, look at him total, maybe a little bit closer. But you can give me weapons and blah 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 and injuries and all that. I that's part of the game. That's part of the whole thing, though, right? But if I'm Tua, I'm like, yeah, well, I want 55 a year. I want the same, if not more. I don't think Jordan Love has that leg to stand on. But if he has a great year this year, he does, maybe. So I do think owners talk. Look, it's 32 owners. You telling me they don't talk? I know they talk about the stadium deal, which we're going to get into a story. The stadium deal, they do. Where's your new stadium? Everybody else is getting a new stadium, Shad. Why don't you have a new stadium? If you don't have a new stadium, we got to figure something out. This goes on. This is their business. This is what they do. These owners. So, I do think that collusion is very interesting. They're going to have to battle that. And the fact that they do put pressure on each other. They do. And look, and here's the thing. I've been saying it's in vogue to sign your quarterback to an extension, especially if he's a rookie going, right? You want that. You, as a franchise, you want to say, yeah, and I do too. I'm so happy. I'm happy that Trevor's going to be here for 7 years, as long as he performs at an elite level. So that expectation, at first I thought he would be elite, being the number one pick in the draft, and all the talk about how generational I thought he was. He showed some of that, and then you're like, hey, he's not elite. He's got elite tools, but he's not elite. He's not playing elite. Now he's paid like elite. I expect him to play like elite. I mean, is that too much to ask? I don't think it is. But nonetheless, these owners, I do believe they talk. Now, how about this, Jag fans, and everybody around the National Football League? And I wish I had a expert on this, but I don't today. So Kansas City, how about this? Kansas City, Kansas, has approved plans to bring the Chiefs and the Royals to the state of Kansas and away from Missouri. Now, we've been talking about, you've heard on the news, how the Chiefs are having issues trying to get their stadium, whether it's upgraded or whatnot, or I don't know if it's a brand new build or it's an upgrade, but they don't want to pay for it. The city doesn't want to pay for it. Now, this is the interesting part. So, number one, what does that say? If I can't get a deal done here, I got to move it somewhere. Because my other 31 owners are expecting me to have a new stadium deal. I can't be the last one that hasn't renovated or redone or rebuilt or whatever. I can't. That's not, especially for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now there's a chance they could be moved. Who would have thought that? Who moves the Kansas City Chiefs? Who? Been winners of, you're going for a three-peat and you're going to move? This is what's interesting. I don't know Missouri, but I read where Kansas, they'll be using state bonds to help finance both baseball and NFL stadiums and practice facilities or workout facilities. State bonds. Florida doesn't use state bonds. If anybody out there listening, you can tell me why. I don't know. Tell me, are you kidding me? And I know Tennessee does. Tennessee's getting $500 million from the state of Tennessee to build their brand new stadium. I mean, if you threw in $500 million to this deal in Jacksonville, are you kidding me? Let's go. Rock and roll, hoochie coo. It's over. It's interesting. They got to work on that, I think, man. I tell you what, I'd be pretty pissed off if I'm Shad Khan. All these other owners getting state funds. I can't get my hands on any state funds. And I know you people out there, he's a billionaire, he can pay for himself. That's not the model. It's not the model. Don't try to change their model. You're not in their world. You're not in their circle. Can't change their model. That's their model. I think Kroenke, I think Jerry paid for their own stuff from the majority of it, but they don't want that. They want the cities to be invested. Why? I don't know. Go ask them. But that is what they are. They're the governing body, those 32 owners. And then, the puppet, Goodell, he does what they tell him to do, just make sure they make money. And he does. They make money all year. But how about that? Kansas City. Could they be moved? Could both teams be moved? By the way, I've been thinking about this for a long time, Jacksonville. I think we're ready for a Major League Baseball team. I've been thinking about it. Look, we got our NFL guys. They're going to be locked and loaded. It's going to be phenomenal. They're going to be here for a while. I don't know if the season's going to be phenomenal. I want to see more before I get too excited. I'm not excited yet. But I'm excited about the stadium deal because I believe it's going to pass. And it should pass. Okay? I also think our city, now not today, 2024, but maybe 2030 or whatever, 28, whatever, as we continue to grow. I think we're ready for another professional sport franchise of the big ones. No disrespect to soccer. God bless you. You're going to do a great job. We're happy that you're coming to Jacksonville. Phenomenal. But out of baseball, basketball, and hockey, I think baseball is the best fit. And you can envision it. You go down, you're downtown, you're like, man, I can see that. And then you bring in the entertainment district. Are you kidding me? That's when you got it downtown. That's primo. But we'll see if that ever happens. Maybe it's wishful thinking. I know the Jags want to get their stadium deal done, and I believe it's going to get done. From what I'm being told, it's going to get done. So fantastic, and I'm happy for our Jaguar fans, our city, the organization as well, and all the players too, because that's big. But look, that's the other side of it. That's the other side. Where would Jacksonville go? I don't know. I don't even want to think about that. But I know everyone's like, oh, well, Shad can't just win. It's not Shad Khan's decision. It's the governing body. And supposedly there's like 10 to 12 owners that really run the show out of the 32. You know, the guys that I met, Cronkies and Jerry Jones and Kraft and those guys. They run the show. They're the governing body within the government, from what I'm told. If I'm wrong, I will eat my medicine, but I'm told from a very good friend of mine who's in the biz. So, you know, look, again, they're going to get it done. So it's going to be great. We don't have to worry about that. And we don't have to worry about it for 30 years. And within 30 years, well, within 5-10 years, we'll have another franchise. Something will be here. I think we'll, as our demographic, we all love baseball. You love the Braves most here around here. You love some Tampa, maybe, I don't know. But baseball's big in Jacksonville, and I think it'll do extremely well as a major league baseball franchise if it ever gets to that. The Patriots extend Ramondre Stevenson, their drafted running back. They're on this draft and develop thing. And copycat league, right? Everybody wants it. You want to re-sign your guys. I get it. You don't want to develop somebody and then have them go somewhere else and do great things for another team. That's annoying. I mean, to me it is, as a former player. And as a fan, I'm like, man, I can't stand it. It seems like it happens way too many times. You know what I mean? Let a guy go and he ends up, winning a Super Bowl or doing some good. It's happened back even in '96. I mean, we got rid of Andre Rison and Desmond Howard. They both went to Green Bay and won the Super Bowl that year. That obviously, that happens. Hey, real quick homework. We're going to get into the cornerback room too, but I got to do a little cleaning up. So the 904 Pro Show is no longer. It's unfortunate. I don't want to get into it. I'm not going to air any dirty laundry. There's nothing really dirty per se, but just lack of, I don't know, maybe agreeance on direction of the show. So we're going to pause on that show. Thanks everybody for coming out. We've had some phenomenal guests. I'm gonna get back into it. I'm definitely gonna call it something different, but the show will go on, and hopefully we'll have it up and running by football season. In the meantime, I'm gonna be right here, never leaving catching up with Tommy Mack. Let's say kick me out here, and if they do, we'll figure something out there. I don't know. I don't think that's happening. I love it here, and hopefully they love me as well. But yeah, no more 904 Pro Show. Of course, the Horse's Mouth continues to carry on. Make sure you check out that show. Me and Dave Campo, I love doing one-on-one. It's all Jags with Coach Campo at my bar, at Tommy Max on the Horse's Mouth. So I hope you take a shot there. All right, the Jags signed Denzel Mims. Look, great. I tell you what, if I'm number 5, 6, and 7, this concerns me on the depth chart. And I know there's no depth chart. There is. It's one in the cloud, but it's there. Trust me. They know who number 1 through 4 is right off the bat. And then 5, 6, and 7, they'll battle it out for the most part. So if I'm Parker, if I'm, Elijah, if I'm Seth, I'm, they're bringing another guy. Now, he may not be anything. He may former first-round pick. It was with the Steelers. I get it. Maybe it's a resurrected career. Maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe they use him. Maybe they say, hey, man, I love this guy, and he's going to help our wide receiver room. I do find it, I am still, can we not bring in another lineman? How about, I'd take a guard even, but I just, look, we just gave our QB all this, and rightfully so. It's good. It's good timing. It is. And you look, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I believe it will. I do believe his best football is forward. Can we agree on that? Because, if you take, and you look, and I went through, we're going to go through it, the ratings, you go through the list that he played, the games that he played, pretty good overall. Some very, very good. And he dealt with the knee a little bit, which I don't believe in this 8-3, carrying the team thing. I think the defense carried us, and I got some stats for them too. Man, did they crap down there? Everyone's like, yeah, well, if so-and-so was here and so-and-so didn't get hurt, and all this stuff, and I'm sitting there going, man, if the defense could have just shown up any of those 5 games, they gave up almost 30 points a game the last 5 games. That's not on the QB. That's not on the O-line being injured. That's on the defense. Now, I know they cleaned it up and they fixed it. We'll talk about that. And I know I'm expecting better things from our defense, but that's the reality. Stop, Derrick Henry, and you go to the playoffs. You go to the playoffs, and anything can happen, as we all know. There's a couple OTs out there. Some of them they're pretty long in the tooth. Some are coming off injury. Tell you the one guy I'd take a look. Now Bakhtiari, I'm worried about his knee. And when he's healthy, he's a total beast. Guy from Green Bay. He can be a total beast if healthy. I don't know. I got to make sure he's wicked healthy. If he's even a hair not healthy, I probably wouldn't want him. Charles Leno, who used to be the left tackle for Washington. He's long in the tooth. He's 32. I guess long in the tooth is Dwayne Brown. He's 39. I'm not really into that. Riley Reef's out there. Connor McDermott, Bakhtiari, and then Charles Leno, who he played, I think he was number 72, 71 for the Skins, or for the Washington team. By the way, I was saying on the 904 Pro Show, and maybe you won't laugh, but I find it very funny. The Jumbo Shrimp taking on the Indianapolis Indians, a minor league team in Indianapolis. Do they not? The minor league doesn't count? Like that name doesn't bother people in Indianapolis? You know? I mean, what? It's such a huge deal. Cleveland had to change their name. Washington Redskins had to change their name, but not minor league. They don't. It doesn't matter in the minor leagues. It can be whatever they want. I'll tell you another thing that's bothersome. I go to the gas station. You know, I'm a germaphobe. I am. I'm a total. And before COVID, I was a germaphobe, and probably always will be. And it probably came from the gym, because most people in the gym are absolutely disgusting. They sneeze on their hands. They cough on their hands. They grab the barbell. They don't wipe them down. They don't wipe down anything. Not all, but a lot. And I was like, ew, you guys are gross. So that made me a germaphobe. I go get gas this morning. No, nothing. I can't even buy it. Hey, do you guys got any hand sanitizer? No, we don't offer that anymore. I'm like, you don't offer it anymore. What are you talking about? Germs go away. I mean, this massive... And he started laughing. We all just, whatever, just crazy, man. Give me... I found some in my car, thank goodness, because I can't stand it. How many people touch the damn gas thing? I don't like it. As a germaphobe, I don't like it. I like that you bring in Denzel Mims. I'd like to see you bring in some offensive line. I would. I think we need to bolster that up. You got plenty of cap. You got plenty of money, and you know what? You're one injury away. I mean, look, maybe Cooper Hodges can back up one of the guards, maybe, or the center, Mitch Morse, maybe. But you got to have depth. You got to have depth. You got your 5 starters, which still question mark, right? Overall, you look, they only played one game last year. Remember that whole thing? Only one game together. So how do we know what they're going to be like? They don't know either. They didn't know back then. And they got Ezra midway through the season, so I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Granted, he was injured, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Big dude that's athletic. I think Sheriff comes back strong. I think Morse will be... They're going to be a better O-line. But, again, you got to see it. I'm not buying into the hype to get it done, because... you fans deserve better than that. Catching up with Tommy Mac, brought to you by Team Tommy Mac, a group of businesses that I personally endorse here on this show, on social media, out in the streets. You asked me about these guys, and I'm happily to connect you to them. I already mentioned Chris Lucero's bail bonds and Azar Sausage. If you missed that, J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling, you contractors. That's veteran-owned and operated, integrity, trust. Just look, you guys can all trust Team Tommy Mac, because I do, and hopefully you trust me, and I'm not a bullshitter, so hopefully you trust that. Of course, Graffiti American Burger Bar. They brand new ownership, brand new menu, brand new management. Phenomenal. Get the McManus burger. It's phenomenal. It is. It's got avocado, Swiss cheese, bacon, and of course meat. Big pound of meat or whatever it is. Carpet Man Flooring, not just LVP, baby. You got carpet, you got tile, you got hardwood flooring, highest quality, lowest prices. Check them out. Michael Nick is a State Farm agency. He's my State Farm agent. He should give him a shot. Health, supplemental health, life, auto, and home, all at State Farm, all with Michael Nickus. He's my agent. He should be yours yours as well. Family Tradition Specialty Foods, home of Coconut Joe's. Go check out my Facebook post. You'll see a link to get buy one, get one free. And they got some great choices. My man Tommy Finnegan up in Chicago absolutely loves them. And you will too. Code Ninjas. Hey, listen, And the horse's mouth, we get all these tech. We had AI yesterday. We had VR. We had all this stuff. And, man, you can really set your kid up in the world because you know where it's going with technology, man. Get them involved with Code Ninjas. They got 4 locations for your convenience. Get them enrolled. They're going to earn certificates while they're having fun. They're going to build video games and learn about cybersecurity. It's just phenomenal. Make sure you give them a great head start. You can do it with Code Ninjas and Salt Air Inn in Swedes, 4 blocks from the beach, baby. Right in Atlantic Beach on Atlantic Boulevard, a boutique hotel that's absolutely spectacular with concierge service all up and down the beaches of Northeast Florida. All right, Trev again says, no pressure. I say baloney. There's a ton of pressure, baby. A ton of pressure. So look, by the way, I did some math. One thing I am pretty okay with is math. Math can tell you a lot. Simple math for the right. Let's clarify that. Simple math. You look at, how the team went last year with the 8-3, with how they finished 0-5. Back to the yards, right? I forgot. Lost my train of thought. So with the yards, 4,000 yards, 17 games, 235 yards a game. Okay? If you throw that in high school or in college game, does anyone go, wow? Like, whoa, 235. I don't. No, 235 with 4 touchdowns and 0 picks. Sure, I'll take that all damn day, right? 21 of 24, 235, 240 yards with 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Take that all day long. If that happens, I think yards are so overrated. Now, I'll tell you when it does get impressive. All right, 4,500 I think was like 262-ish. And then 5,000 yards over 17 games is 293. So look, you're throwing 300 yards a game in the NFL. Okay, that's impressive. Although, yards can be misleading. Before the half, before the game ends, they're in prevent if they're ahead. They're playing safe. You're dinking and dunking. You're getting your shots here and there. They're not, you're making throws. No one's in your face. They're rushing 3. You got nothing to worry about. You just pitch and catch. Go right down the field. Then they tighten up when they're ready, So yards can be misleading. But I looked at the ratings, and I got to say, look, man, he and I know I'm hard. Look, you may not like my approach. I approach it like if I were coaching the team, how I would coach them. That's how I would coach them. Just a lot of accountability. That's all. Here are the facts. Here's what we see. This is what you see on tape. We know what Trevor can do. We know what the good things he can do. We also know the not so good things, right? You can't have 21 turnovers out of 30 on your team. You can't. We know that. And the picks you've heard me talk about, I don't relish it. It's the fumbles you got to be careful of. I'm worried the awareness, where you're at on the field, where everybody's at, seeing the backside safety. Maybe taking the check down when you can, or the wide open guy instead of hitting the bomb. Those kind of things. That's what's got to be elite. Everything else he's got. We've seen the elite throws. We've seen the elite plays. We've also seen what? Bad throws, missed throws, bad placement even on completed throws, bad interceptions at bad times in the game, bad decisions at critical times in the game. Those are the things that got to be elite in order for him to play elite. But when you look at last year, there's no doubt when he hurt the ankle against Cincinnati, he was playing some really good football overall. Now, granted, he didn't play well against Kansas City. Nobody did. He didn't play well. The 3 after the ankle injury hurt him bad. He didn't play well. I thought, look, and Baltimore wasn't terrible. It was the bad decisions and the fumbles. That's what made it bad for Baltimore. The Tampa game was terrible, 64. Well, that was one of the 3. I'm trying to see. So KC, Houston, he was okay week 3, 85.3. He had a 90 point. Yeah, the rest were pretty damn good. Now, here's the problem I have, right? The defense, first 11 games, 20.45 points a game given up. Great. You can win with that. You like it a little lower. You like around 17, 18, right? By the way, I'll remind you, I think they still have it. There's a board in the offense and defensive meetings room, what your average is in order to win, right? I've got to score 17 points or more, and I got a good chance of winning. If I rush the ball 3.6 or 3.8 yards or more per carry, I'm going to win. Yada, yada, yada. Like third down percentage needs to be this. Fourth down needs to be this. It's just a chart, right? You try to train on defense, hold them to 16 or less. Hold them to 3.6 or less. Hold them to, get off the field 1 out of every 3 downs, something like that on third down. That type of thing. So these stats, team stats are important. Gave up 20.45 points a game in those first 11 games. Last 5 games gave up 29.2 points a game. That's 9 points a game, just about, in those 5 games. That's hard to win when your offense is not averaging, a high mark. I think they average, 22 points? So when it's 20, you're good. 22 offense, 20 defense, good, right? Then it goes 29 defense, 22 offense, not good, right? Not good at all. He was balling out. He had a great night against Cincy and then got hurt. He was great against Tennessee 2 weeks before. New Orleans, I think, was one of his better games, coming off the knee. I mean, a lot of it was running, but he made plays that game. He made plays big time. Did well against Atlanta, very efficient. Buffalo, good. Indy to start was very good. And, KC was bad. And then Houston, I think they thought they could just show up against Houston. But, look, now it's time to turn those all into big ones, big 100. I guess what do you say is a good rating to start at? I'm not a rating, 100, 90. If you go by 90, all of his games were, I forgot San Fran 48.8, but the whole team was bad. That was embarrassing. Being on that field pregame for the veterans, just, man, you could tell that was going to be a long day. They came to fight. We did not. So against the big teams, you gotta perform better. They all do, but nonetheless, hey, now he's got to play elite, baby, and I'm gonna hold him to it. He did say he's got no added pressure, but I'm expecting elite play. I'm not expecting bad play. I'm not expecting turn the ball over. I'm not expecting fumbles. I'm not expecting not taking that third down, first down, and going for the bomb. I'm expecting to take the first down. I'm expecting better play. It's got to be better. We all say that. It's got to be better. But this is what I'm talking about. It's got to be better in order for them to get to the Super Bowl. And that is the deal. You just redid Josh Allen. You redid Trevor. You're redoing some guy. You brought in new talent. Let's go. It's Super Bowl. It's playoffs or bust. Hopefully they can get to the Super Bowl. All right, as we wrap up this show, and then I got to head over to Jaguars today, let's take a look at the cornerback room as the Jags head into 2024. Brought to you by Team Tommy Mac. Pound Team Tommy Mac. Team Tommy Mac strong, no doubt about it. All right, corners. We'll start with them. Ronald Darby, Tyson Campbell, Buster Brown, Monteric, of course, Jarian Jones, and DeAndre Prince, two of the last two guys, of course, draft picks in 2024. Those are your outside guys. Trey Flowers, Darnell Savage are considered safety / nickel. Jones can play nickel too. So I think I'm looking forward to seeing these young guys. I really am, and I hope Tyson Campbell gets back to, to form. I mean, we were raving about him. We were raving about Darius Williams big time last year, but we were raving about Tyson prior to the injury. And he really has progressed throughout his time as a Jaguar. And look, I know injuries are a part of it, right? My thing is, if the guy's injured and he can't go, and you don't have someone to back him up, and Buster did a fine job. He did, in my opinion. And you need pressure to be good as a corner. In my opinion, you do, especially if you're going to, play back off zone. I thought Brown did okay overall. But, look, Tyson's what's great about this year for the cornerback room is your new defensive coordinator is cornerback friendly, meaning he believes he can run his defense through you, right? And I get it. I do. I don't know. Look, I'm not a coach, so I'm not going to say I disagree with it. I mean, pressure and coverage go together. They do. Being on press defense up on your wide receiver and jamming them helps my guys get an extra half step, my pass rushers. Fair? Right. And an extra half step to the quarterback means he's got to get the ball out quicker, which means my guys don't have to cover as long as they are dictating that coverage. Does that make sense out there? It should. I think it does. It does to me. Now, you can say, well, okay, Tom, but if I can jam those wide receivers, I'm helping my D-line out. No doubt. No doubt about that. Can you jam them every single time? Can you jam them enough to where you only need 4 to rush? Wouldn't that be great, right? Or do you have just 4 unbelievable pass rushers? I think you have 3. I don't know about unbelievable Trayvon yet, but I'm telling you, I think he's going to have a big year. You saw the change. You saw the dip. That, man, you got, it seems so easy, but man, you see guys, like you see a lot of these guys, they're like down, almost touching the ground, and those big paws of those offensive linemen are slipping off that front shoulder, or you're getting by him, or he's missing the back of you because your shoulders are turned. You got to get down and get dipping and getting around it. I mean, you saw Josh Allen do that a few times this year, a bunch of times this year. Trayvon Walker, same deal, man. He started to get that. So I like Darby. I think Darby's a great pick. I think Savage is a great pick. Flowers, we'll see. I mean, look, he's fighting for his NFL life. Jones and Prince, I think they're the kind of corner that Ryan Nielsen likes. But so is the other 2. So it should be other 3, really. Buster's long and lean too. So should be an interesting matchup. Good room. Good room. Well, they add to that room. It's funny, they keep adding to the wide receiver room. Like you thought they'd be done, right? But injuries, so let's keep that in mind. They did bring in Jarvis Landry, so it should be a surprise that they brought in Denzel Mims. Not at all. Not at all, in my opinion. But it's interesting. I don't know. I'd like to see that old line beefed up more. That's a heavy price QB to go behind a line that's a maybe right now. And no disrespect to you big dogs up front, man. You big guys, but we don't know. We don't know what kind of play we're going to get. Yes, Mitch Morse is an upgrade, no doubt. A healthy Ezra Cleveland should be good. A healthy Sheriff should be good. A healthy Anton should be good. A healthy Cam. Man, I keep saying healthy. It's not good. Well, your backups better be good. Your backups better be ready to go. Maybe Foster is that guy. We'll see. We're going to find out in camp. Looking forward when they get the pads on. That'll be a fun time down there at the stadium. All right, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you all. I see you come in, and that's fantastic. I always appreciate the support. We'll get this one out there and put it all over the platforms and social media. Again, thanks to Team Tommy Mac. Thanks to 1010XL. And thanks to all of you for listening to Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Hey, we go real strong, man, and it's all Jags once football season hits, and NFL, but mostly Jags. So we'll break down the game that was. We'll break down the game that's about to be every Tuesday, every Friday, all throughout the year. Catching Up with Tommy Mac podcast, focusing on our beloved Jacksonville Jaguars. Until next time, have a great weekend. Stay safe. Be cool. We'll see you right here on Catching Up with Tommy Mac. Peace and love out there.